I just can't get away from a good time.
Now, I wanted to cover a few things if I can, and for that I need to just click on my notes here. That's not it. Where did it go? There it is. So, I wanted to just mention a few things. First of all, I hope you had a great weekend, and you'll see I'm posting some video and all sorts of things going on with the Venezia, and I'll be visiting the ship soon and post my sailing schedule as well. But I hope you, for those of you who are really excited about Venezia and soon to be Firenze as well, we can't wait to show you more. So if you haven't seen the video, it's underneath this one. It's a little look inside the aft dining room. You know, on some ships, on some ships we say dining room, right? And I think as a cruise tradition, dining room is applicable. I'm not sure on the Venezia and Firenze whether dining room is going to be appropriate. It certainly is more of a rest. Have a look at the video and you'll see what I mean. If you haven't seen the gondola, well, go and have a look at the video. It's right down there. And my thanks to Jeff, who's the Senior Guest Services Manager, who's currently on board the ship, who's sending me that. I'm also going to be doing an interview with the captain soon and some other things. If you haven't booked, oh my goodness, New York, start spreading the news because she is going to be incredible. And Long Beach, same for you. With Firenze, a lot more to talk about with those two ships. But now for something more serious. And I'm going to read a little post I got from a gentleman called Carl. And I will say your first name because I don't see any reason why not. And Carl says, on sunrise last week, as we headed to dinner, we passed by a guard/officer/security of some variety with a sniffing dog going up and down the hall. This is overkill. This new carnival will drive people away. Watch your cruise line go under. The First Amendment guarantees our right to free expression. Having dogs sniff us and our belongings on a cruise is in violation of this. And what about people like my wife who are allergic to dogs? What about that? Chewing tobacco isn't banned. Smoking isn't banned. So why is marijuana, which is legal, capital letters, in most of the United States? I'm going to read that one more time. On sunrise last week, as we headed to dinner, we passed by a guard officer security of some variety with a sniffing dog going up and down the hall. Overkill. This new carnival is driving people away. Watch your cruise line go under. And then the stuff about First Amendment and right to free expression and all that stuff. Cheers. So, I am, I'm afraid, uneducated in, well, everything really. And I certainly do not understand or have read First Amendment. But yes, you did see drug sniffing dogs. They are at embarkation, and on some ships they sail with us too. Our President Christine mentioned this in her video.
Hi, I'm Christine Duffy, President of Carnival Cruise Line, with an important message for our guests. We've all seen the news coverage and social media posts of people behaving badly. It's happening in stores, restaurants, at sporting events, in schools, on airplanes, in theme parks, and yes, on cruise ships too. As the cruise line that sails more children and families than any other, I want to share with you the steps that we have taken to ensure that our guests have a safe, fun, and great vacation on board. My colleagues and I have been reviewing and updating security procedures, providing additional training to our crew, and enhancing guest communications to support the behaviors we expect on our ships. All of our ships have had more security personnel added, and we've introduced narcotic sniffing dogs at home ports to screen luggage on both a routine and random basis. So our guests shouldn't be surprised if they even see dogs come on board at both our home ports and destination outports to make random searches. Illegal drugs, including marijuana, on cruise ships and in cruise terminals is prohibited. And in case there's any confusion, let me remind guests that while marijuana and cannabis products may be legal in some states, we are required to follow federal law, irrespective of the law in the state where you may be boarding your ship. For guests using medical marijuana, you should consult with your physician about an alternative therapy during your cruise, as marijuana, as I said, is prohibited and will be confiscated. All guests must now acknowledge and commit to our code of conduct during the check-in process. So whether it's smoking, illegal substances, or disruptive behavior, there are consequences in place for those who do not comply, including fines, being confined to your cabin, or being removed from the ship and banned from sailing in the future. We've also implemented a youth curfew, and I've even called in the big guy, and by that I mean our Chief Fun Officer, Shaq O'Neill, to help us get the message out. In addition to the new signage that we've put in the terminals and on the ship, you'll see a series of your stateroom TVs, reminding guests of our policies and our collective responsibility to have fun and be safe. Details on all safety and security policies are included in our ticket contract, which you should review prior to booking. We know how to show our guests a great cruise experience, and our ships are full of fun-loving guests. That's why we're so successful and why guests keep coming back. So please help us make sure your Carnival vacation is safe, fun, and memorable by respecting each other, our crew, and the ocean. Now, with all that said, let the fun begin. Thank you for your support.
There are two things I want to concentrate on. And first of all, we have signs everywhere. And I'm going to read one of the signs. This is the sign at embarkation, right? Whether you've seen it in Galveston, Sunrise, where's she? Miami, Port Connecticut, at every home port, in North America, possibly Australia, I don't know, but definitely in all of our home ports. These signs are everywhere at embarkation, and it says, Carnival is required to follow U.S. federal law, which prohibits recreational and medical marijuana, plus all other illegally controlled substances. Narcotic sniffing dogs will be in the terminal and on board to check all luggage. There's fun ahead, so don't end your vacation before it starts. So I've had so many people write to me and say, and I mean hundreds, saying, thank you, John, thank you. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Christine, for really clamping down on this. And I realize there are some who, like marijuana. Of course they do. And it is legal in various places, but it is not illegal. It is not legal on board. And that's why those signs are there. That's why those dogs are there. And while I cannot and never will give you details specifically, have we discovered people bringing things on? Oh, yes. Have we discovered a few? Yes, lots. And have we stopped them from sailing? Yes, we have. So please don't bring it. Please don't get upset, whether it's First Amendment reasons or the fact that you might be allergic to dogs. Don't be intimidated by them. They're there for you. They're there because we need to have them, because the world has changed, because marijuana is legal in some places, but illegal as per federal law to bring it on board. And Carl, you mentioned chewing tobacco isn't banned. Well, I don't believe that chewing tobacco is a banned substance. I'm pretty certain it's not. It's very rare these days that you see people chewing tobacco on board. And I admit it's not very nice. In the old days, when I first started, this is absolutely true, on the Mardi Gras and Carnival back in the late 80s and early 90s, we actually had what do they call them? Spittoons. We actually had spittoons in the bars, on the on the floor. I'm not joking. Spittoons on the bar floor, and it wasn't allowed in the dining room, but we had them in the casino bar, the disco, the lobby bar, and that's it, because there weren't any other bars on those smaller ships. And I think by the early 90s we had removed them. Actually, I still have one of those spittoons. I'm gonna put it on eBay. I'm gonna start a bidding war. See what I did there? I went bidding war, but in the cowboy move, bidding, when they spit Clint Eastwood. A bidding war. Stupid. I don't get the First Amendment. You may disagree with our policy, and a lot of you are writing the words First Amendment here. I don't understand it. I'm not saying it's against it, for it. I'm saying I don't understand it. I just know federal law. And remember, the cruise industry does comply to federal law. And that is why you cannot bring it. You cannot bring a vape pen or edibles on board. So I see a lot of people asking that. No, you can't. You cannot bring marijuana, medical or recreational of any kind. And there you go. I'm a bidding war. I'm just passing that information on. So Carl, I hope you understand. Please don't be intimidated. For every one person who is complaining about this, I know there are hundreds of people who are not. In fact, I'm going to ask everybody reading this now or watching this, if you agree that we're doing the right thing by controlling this, please press the thumbs up blue button now. If you agree. If you don't agree, don't press anything. You don't have to do angry faces, but give me a thumbs up or a heart or something to show that you believe that we are doing the right thing. A bidding war. Bidding on eBay. Never mind. It's far too early for that kind of stuff, isn't it? Anyway, Rita got it. That's the most important thing. A bidding war. Never mind. People aren't getting it at all. We are doing the right thing. We'll continue to do the right thing. Right, a couple of other little things. Big screen movies for April. I should have them today or tomorrow. I don't have them yet. The moment I get them, they are posted straight here. So for those of you asking, please don't worry. I haven't forgotten. As soon as I get them, I will tell you. A lot of you are asking me about excursions that aren't online yet for ports like Tokyo and some European ports in Greece and Turkey. We are putting that all together. The teams are out and about across the world, putting all the excursions together now. If they're not there, it doesn't mean that we're not offering excursions. It just means that they are putting that together, making sure they're safe and great value for money, and that we offer you the best times. I mentioned Firenze. There is no Trans-Pacific cruise. That would be a 45-day cruise, I think, is what they're saying. And there's no ports, there's nowhere to go. And that's why we're not doing it. So the ship, as indeed we did on the Panorama, will come straight across to Long Beach, but with no guests, because there's really nowhere to go. And that's why there's not one doing there. But of course, on Venezia, we do have one.
Absolutely. Just because I've been given the honor of bringing out Celebration, it doesn't make me any bad than the incredible team that are out there that do such an awesome job.
Oh, sure.
And secondly, and this one is huge, like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you know when this man is posting more videos.
I appreciate that you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lee.
I just can't get away from a good time.